Welcome to this cleansing, spring-inspired full body yoga flow. Today we'll be saying goodbye to the cold winter months by releasing any old stale energy that no longer serves us and inviting in the warmth and possibilities that the new season so generously provides for us. I'm going to start today in a comfortable seat, possibly crossing at the ankles or maybe placing one foot in front of the other. Sitting up nice and tall, lengthen through the spine, grounding through the sitting bones. I'm just going to begin by resting our hands placed down onto our knees and begin to close the eyes. Just begin by bringing yourself into the room. Bring yourself onto your mat. Welcome your body into your class today. Allow your mind to let go of any plans, thoughts, or worries. And begin to draw your awareness to your breath. As you notice each inhale and each exhale, noticing the quality of air as it enters your body, and imagining on the exhale that you're letting go of that old stale energy, releasing out of your body. I'm going to flow through our class with that same awareness of releasing and letting go and welcoming the new day, the new season, everything it has to offer. Gently begin to blink the eyes open. Bring yourself back into the room. Inhale, begin to sweep the arms up and overhead, stretching down through the sides of the body, allowing the knees to stay heavy and the sitting bones to stay really connected with your mat. Inhale, lift through the fingertips. Exhale, begin to twist and look over to the left as we float the arms down. Right hand rests on top of the left knee and the left hand rests behind you. Lift and lengthen through the spine on the inhale. Exhale, twist from the belly and look over the left shoulder. Staying connected with your breath. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, can you twist a little deeper? And inhale, unwind, come back to center. Take it the opposite side. Inhale, begin to lift the arms up and overhead. Keeping the sitting bones nice and rooted. Twist over to the right this time. And float the arms down. Left hand meet the right knee, right hand behind you. Lift and lengthen up to the spine. Exhale, looking over the right shoulder. Twisting from the belly. Releasing that old energy. And gently release, come back to center. Begin to draw your right arm across your body. Use your left hand as a hook to draw it over the right arm and draw the arm closer towards you. Drop the right shoulder and maybe, if it's okay, on your neck, begin to look towards the right. We're opening up into the tops of the shoulders, opening up to the back body. If you want, you could maybe begin to move to the neck, move to the head. Just work out any creaks, any knots. And we'll release, take it to the opposite side. Left arm draws across, right hand draws that arm in. Look to the left, drop the shoulder, creating that wonderful stretching sensation all through the shoulders. Bring movement to the neck if that feels good for you today. And release. Lovely. From here, we'll make our way over to tabletop. So over into our hands and knees. Moving nice and slowly with complete awareness. Wrists come in line under the shoulders and our knees are in line under our hips. We'll flow through a few cat-cows. So we want to spread our fingertips nice and wide. And on your inhale, drop your belly down towards the mat. Lift your tailbone high as you open through the chest. Look forward. Feeling that opening all through the front side of the body. And exhale, begin to tuck your tailbone under as you drop the gaze and peel up into your cat pose. Look towards the knees. Tailbone tucks under. Shoulder blades draw away from each other. Inhale back into cow. Drop the belly. Gaze comes forward. Shoulders draw towards each other. Exhale. Tuck the tailbone under. Look towards the knees. And begin to flow through your cat-cow to these two movements. To your own breath. Maybe closing the eyes to keep the gaze inwards. Noticing how the lower back feels. Noticing the shoulders. As we create movement down through the body. And after your next round, come back to normal tabletop, keeping a nice flat back. From here, we're going to make our way into our first downward facing dog of the day. Walking your hands further away from you on the mat, keeping your fingertips spread nice and wide, and your index fingers are pointing towards the corners of the mat. We're going to tuck our toes under and begin to hover our knees off the mat, beginning to wake up through the legs, waking up through the core, through our abdominal muscles, drawing your shoulders under, beginning to feel everything, every part of you wake up. Inhale, and as you exhale, press your body back into your first downward facing dog. Hips pressing up and towards the sky. Tailbone lifted high. Shoulders drawing in and under. You can keep your knees as deeply bent as you need to. If the backs of your legs are feeling a little bit tight today, I'll begin to pedal out the legs, dropping the weight into one heel at a time, bending into opposite knee, switching on the hamstrings, the calf muscles, accessing into the hips. Then once again, bringing the weight into the left, begin to lift and reach the right leg up towards the sky, pointing through the toes. Begin to stack the hips. So you're stacking your right hip on top of the left. Maybe look under the left armpit. See if you can see the toes pointing. Begin to bend into the right knee, accessing into the upper thigh, getting deeper into the hips, pointing the knee up towards the sky, drawing the foot towards that hip. Begin to point the right knee, the right toes even, once again towards the sky. And bending into the knee. Begin to level off the hips, keeping the knee bent as you draw the knee into the belly. Hover forward. Bring shoulders over wrists. And we'll step the right foot in between both hands. Plant the left foot towards the short edge of the mat And we're going to sweep our arms up and overhead as we make our way up into our warrior two. So take a moment here just to check your alignment, making sure your knee is in line over the ankle and you're grounding through both feet evenly with a really nice wide stance. Arms draw across the body. Drop your shoulders down. Tuck your tailbone under. And bring your gaze over the right fingers. Keeping the right knee pointing out towards your baby toe. So we're opening up through the hips. You're drawing that knee open. It's not collapsing in. You're keeping it nice and open. Stay with your breath. Nice, strong warriors. I'm going to begin to draw the left hand back behind you. So maybe you can take hold of the right hip as we flip the right palm. Inhale, reach up and overhead as we reverse our warrior. Open up through the right side of the body. Stay with your breath. Inhale back to center. Looking over the fingers. We're going to begin to reach the arms up and overhead to frame the front foot as we pivot on the back leg. We plant both hands down and step our right foot to meet the left. Back into our downward facing dog. You can shake to the hips once again, dropping one knee at a time. Or if you want to drop down onto your knees and take a brief child's pose. Just take the weight off the hips just for a moment. And now we'll take it into our second side. Sending the weight into your right leg. Begin to lift the left leg away from the mat. Coming up into your three-legged dog. Pointing the toes nice and high. Looking under the right armpit. See if you can see your toes. Lifting up even higher. Stacking the hips. Begin to bend into the left knee. Pointing that knee up towards the sky. Kicking your heel closer towards your hips. Inhale, point that knee once again. And bend into the knee. Begin to level off the hips. Draw that knee into the belly as you hover forward. So your shoulders come in line over your wrists. Step the left foot in between your hands, keeping your knee in line over the ankle. We sweep the arms up and overhead, ground through the back foot into our warrior two. Shoulders down away from the ears. Open that left knee up to the left side of the room. Tailbone tucks under. Nice strong warrior. Keep your gaze looking over the middle finger. Building so much strength here. Waking everything up. Feeling the body begin to warm up. We'll reverse our warrior. Bring your right hand around to wrap around the left hip. Inhale, sweep the left arm up and overhead. Open up the left side body. Inhale the arms back into warrior two. Sweep the arms around. Frame the front foot. Pivot on the back foot. This time we're going to come up to standing. So we're going to bring our right foot up to meet the left. Up towards the top of the mat. And allow the upper body to hang heavy as you come up into a forward fold. Now if you've made it the whole way up to the top of the mat, walk the feet back towards the middle. Feet are about hip width distance apart.
And we're going to allow the upper body to hang heavy over the legs. Maybe taking hold of opposite elbow, just for a deeper opening through the back body. Maybe rocking side to side, accessing into the hips. Release the fingers towards the mat. Make our way up to a halfway lift. Plant your hands on your shins as you roll your shoulder blades back, lift and lengthen through the chest, reaching through the crown of your head, growing through each vertebrae. Inhale and exhale, release. Now we're going to make our way up to standing by keeping a deep bend in the knees as you inhale. Reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, draw the arms down in front of your heart center. Extend the arms long down along the body, down into your Tadasana, into mountain pose. Shoulders rest down away from the ears. Chin is slightly tucked in. Tailbone tucks under, keeping that engagement through the core. And just take a moment here in Tadasana, in our mountain pose, to check in with the body. Notice the weight in the feet. Notice if you're falling too far forward or maybe too far back. Just see if you can balance somewhere in between. Identify your right foot from your left. Begin to bring the weight into your left foot by gently bending into the right knee. Just turn around to face the front. So from here, we're going to take a few balancing poses. So just go with your body, see how you feel today. Just respect and notice where you want to go. So we're coming up onto the toes of the right foot. And we're trying to strengthen through the left leg. So find that strength. Find that stability. If you feel you can go deeper, begin to bring and draw the right knee up into the chest. Nice, strong standing leg. As we make our way into tree pose, we feel rooted and connected with the mat. Now you can stay here, or maybe begin to open up the hip by drawing the right knee out to the right, placing your left hand onto the left hip, just to find that awareness, that sense of opening. Now from here, you can stay working on your balance, or you can begin to draw the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Or if you feel you're okay in the hips and the knee, you can take it deeper by taking hold of the right foot with the left hand, drop the knee down. Quite a challenging pose. If you have any issues with your knees, your hips, you can just back out of this pose and stay working on your balance. If you're here, maybe begin to see if you can bring your right hand to heart center, and then your left. Drawing that right knee down and away. Staying up nice and tall, growing through the spine, feeling the connection of the earth with the legs. Find that strength, find that support, stability. You can stay here, or from here we can make our way into our toe stand by looking about 4 feet in front of you. Begin to hinge forward from the hips. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drop our hands down and begin to bend into the left knee until your sitting bones meet your heel. Walk your hands either side of the body, sitting up nice and tall. Finding length up through the spine, allowing your knees to point down towards the mat. Open through the chest. Such a difficult pose to do. Not only does it test your physical balance, but also mentally. These can be very, very challenging poses, depending on what's going on each day, each moment. Maybe you can bring your hands into prayer, or keep them out either side of you, like me, just to offer a little bit more support today. Stay with your breath. Working on building strength through the ankle. And we'll gently come out of our toe stand the same way we came in, by walking the hands forward on the mat and beginning to lift the hips away from the heel and walk the hands into prayer. That's where we'll all meet. Hug the knee back into the chest and let that one go. Well done. It's not an easy pose. No balancing poses are easy. Certainly if it's first thing in the morning, or maybe the end of the day and you've had quite a busy day. They don't just test your the physical side of you, but your mental as well. Close the eyes, come back into Tadasana. Palms face forward. Find that strong mountain. So strong that if a gust of wind came along, you wouldn't flinch, you wouldn't move. Identify your right foot from the left. Begin to bring all the weight into the right leg by coming up onto the toes of the left. Either stay here or begin to pick up the left leg. Draw it into the chest. Find your strength. Such a strong standing leg. Feeling the connection with the earth, the support. Maybe open that leg up, opening the hip. Either staying here or coming into your tree pose, whichever variation suits you. Maybe take hold of the foot, drop the knee down. Can you take it deeper? Can you bring the hands into prayer? If you can close your eyes in any of these balancing poses, well done. It's very hard to do. Finding that strength. If you want to come down into your toe stand, looking 4 feet in front of you, hinge forward from the hips, drop the gaze, drop the hands down till they meet the mat, bend into the standing leg, coming down into your toe stand. Such a good pose for your mental strength, working also strengthening your ankle, opening the hips, strengthening the knees, and lift and lengthen through the spine. It'll create that wonderful heart opening. Finding your balance on this side, noticing the support that the ground beneath you offers. If you really want to test your balance, you can bring your hands into prayer. And if you want to take it even one step further, you could try close the eyes. And just notice wherever you are. If you do lose your balance or you fall out, you can always just come back in pose. Whether you're in tree stand or toe squat. And from here, we'll make our way back out. Walk your hands back in front of you. Lift the hips away from the heel. Bring yourself back up to standing. Well done. We'll all meet back in tree pose. Hug the left knee into the chest. And we'll release. Well done. Shake that one out. Let it go. From here, inhale the arms up and overhead, hinging from the hips. Exhale, folding forward. Bend the knees. Back into our forward fold. Take hold of opposite elbow. And begin to rock side to side into our ragdoll pose. Letting go any tension in the lower back. Release the arms down. Bring your hands to meet your shins, hinging forward from the hips. Open up into your halfway lift. Energy shooting out through the crown of your head. And release and fold forward. From here, bring your fingertips down onto the mat. Bend your knees as much as you need to bring them there. We're going to heel toe the feet, either side of the mat, so your toes come off the mat. Heels are pointing in. Begin to drop the hips down into our squat. Maybe you come up off the heels. Maybe you can keep both heels planted on the mat. Whatever works for you today. Bring your arms to the insides of the legs and begin to draw the legs more open as your hands come into prayer. Lift and lengthen up through the spine. Maybe rocking side to side, accessing more room into the hips. Bring your fingertips down onto the mat. We're going to lift our hips back up towards the sky, back into our forward fold. So on an inhale, grounding into the fingertips, keep the feet as they are. Begin to lift the hips back up. Upper body folds down. Take the weight out of your arms and out of your shoulders. And then exhale, send the hips back down. Sort of stretching through the legs, through the back body. Once again, inhale, lift the hips, stretch the body down. Find length through the spine, so we're not just hanging out here, but we're trying to reach our head down towards the ground. Exhale, hips come back down. Once again, forward fold. Lift the hips nice and high. Exhale, squatting back down. Back into our yogi squat. Last one. Inhale. Hips come high, straighten through the legs. And exhale, release it all down. Lovely. From here, drop down onto your sitting bones. Walk the feet out in front of you. Sit up nice and tall. Find length up through the body. Plant both feet on the mat. And we'll walk our hands behind the sitting bones. Fingertips pointing out in front of you. Walk the feet at least hip width distance apart, maybe a little bit wider. We're just going to drop the knees side to side. Just releasing any tension through the hips, up into the quads. Just allowing any stiffness just to release and soften through the body. Now we're going to come into a twist from here. So the next time that the knees drop to the left, allow the right hip to come away from the mat as you begin to look over the right shoulder. Twisting into the belly. Letting go of any effort. Just allowing the knees to hang heavy. Nothing too intense, nothing too much. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. Drop over to the right, look to the left, looking over the shoulder. Allowing the left hip to peel away from the mat. Soften the muscles in your face. Allow the knees to be heavy. And come back up to center. Once again, sitting up nice and tall from here. Just make more space if you need to. Sitting back towards the back of the mat. We're going to extend our right leg long away from us and hug the left leg in towards you. Peel your right toes back so they're pointing towards your face. As we step the left foot over the right, we drop the left knee to rest down towards the right knee. Don't worry if you have a massive gap between the two. Perfectly fine. All depends how open your hips are feeling right now. We're going to lift and lengthen through the spine and begin to hinge forward and fold our body over our legs. Flip your palms to face the sky. We want to remove any bit of effort. We don't want to be pulling or jamming our body into any poses here. We've worked really hard on our legs today. We've lengthened, strengthened our muscles. We want to begin to let them go and release. Last breath. And release. Walk the hands back in towards you and uncross the legs. You can just drop the knees briefly side to side before we take it to the next side. Extend the left leg long, sitting up nice and tall. Draw the right foot in towards you, stepping it over the left, and then drawing that foot back behind you. So you can drop the right knee to rest down onto the left. Peel the toes back towards you. Lift and lengthen through the chest. Look towards your toes and hinge forward from the hips. Flip the palms and allow yourself to melt over the legs. Notice how the side feels from the last few breaths. And we'll gently unwind. Bring yourself back up. Uncross the legs. From here you can make your way down onto your back into your Savasana, or you can finish like me, sitting in a comfortable seated position like we did at the start of our class. Wherever you are, wherever you choose to be, we just want to make sure that we're resting with our arms long and palms facing up, and your shoulders rest down your back. Use this moment to notice how you feel right now. Notice the feet, your ankles, the backs of the legs, to your hips, your lower back, your belly, your upper back, your chest. Your awareness to your shoulders, and to the back of the neck, to the back of your head, and to the crown of your head, and soften your face, soften the muscles. I encourage you to stay here in your Savasana,
as long as you can. This is where I'll leave you today. And thank you very much for joining me for our class. I do hope you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you again very soon. Please do remember to subscribe to my channel to support me if you haven't done so already. And thank you. Namaste.